Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's excellent. So guys, we've been out here photographing today, and I want to share with you the equipment. If you didn't know already, this is the Fujifilm Instax Mini 90, and I've got a couple of Yangyo YN560 series 4 flash. And the nice part about this, of course, I've got my Westcott and light stands, and I also have a Sunpack ball head tripod. And that's important because I wanted to be in these shots with my son. So the concept here was real simple. We know that the Instax itself has a flash on it, and the flash is really bright, okay? Because it's got a flash and you can determine when it's on and off, we can slave trigger these two remote flash. And that means that now we have some additional lighting options, and that's always a good thing. And when you're out in the forest, someplace in a garden like this, when the sun's coming through the canopy, it generally creates hot and dark spots, but lots of hot spots. And that can make faces look funky. So lots of times when I shoot out here, I use a neutral density filter so I can make everything black or very dark, and then I use flash in my camera synchronization speed in order to go ahead and sync and get a good exposed image that doesn't have these splotchy parts. Well, there's not exactly a neutral density filter on this camera, but we do know some things about the camera. And I've said it a couple times, I'll say it again. The first thing is that the camera itself has a aperture value range of 12.7 to 22. And it's got a shutter speed of 1/400th of a second all the way up to 2 seconds. So when we use this camera, we can get an f/22 aperture, which is going to be almost dark, and at 1/400th of a second, that means that we can actually make this camera see completely dark. And that's good for us because we can then use lights to add light along with this right here. Now we have to make some assumptions, and the first one is that when we're shooting using something like landscape mode and the darken function, that's going to give us the smallest aperture and fastest shutter speed combination. We also have to assume that because this camera has a flash that can sync at all the speeds, it can use flash on any of the modes, we know that the flash is at least has a high flash synchronization speed of 1/400th of a second, or is either a leaf shutter. Fuji doesn't publish that, but that information is well, that's there. It has to be able to shoot that fast because the camera can use flash out in broad daylight when it would be using 1/400th of a second. So we're not worrying about not having a flash synchronization speed that syncs up over here. So the last thing that we need to do is just figure out where we need to be with these flash and how bright we want them to be. And I have found pretty simply that these guide number 58 flash, if we're at about 132nd power, 164th power, that's pretty much where we want to be. And that's what we've done. So let's look at the images. Now, the images have come out really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and turn them around just like this. Boom, you can see them, okay? And what we're noticing here is that in all cases, the faces are properly exposed, and that's what we're going for. Okay, now we took a couple on this one because, over here, Robert. We took a couple on this one, pull back some. We took a couple on this one because we got some light leaking coming in. So once we actually pulled that out, we found that we had a really nice image right there, real nice. And this image, I'll put another one up on screen that I took just the other day in the same lighting conditions, and it didn't come out like this at all. Over here at the bridge, same thing. We've got a really nice looking, well exposed red bridge, nice faces. And this one right here, once again, a really nice image that I was able to be in with my son. Looks good. In fact, by using these multiple flash, we're able to eliminate the type of lighting that we would have, the flash bounce back from the eyeglasses, which means that we're not getting those big glares. Another thing to think about is this right here. You know, when I was here, this picture came out nicely exposed, but for some reason I had the wrong focusing mode set. My estimation was wrong, so it's a little out of focus. So here are the takeaways. In this image right here, it looks nice. If I was gonna do it again, I'd put another flash down here and focus it towards the bottom. That way I'd get some reflection off the water, which would look really nice. And that's pretty much the only thing I would say. Once you start using flash that are off the camera like this, getting creative with Instax instant photography becomes even more fun because it gives you more creative options, and that's what we wanna do. This right here is probably my favorite image out of all of them because it shows just exactly how well you can get a properly exposed, very balanced image with Instax cameras. And that's really nice. That means that the film, specifically when used with the Fuji Mini 90, is able to perform. This is an excellent photo. You'd be proud to give this to anybody. And it was a lot of fun. So I want you to thank the cameraman, Robert. He's behind here. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, and we hope that you guys have enjoyed watching this video about portraits in a studio kind of session on location with the Instax Mini 90 and external flash. Guys, take care. And as always, catch you on the flip side. Peace.